Nice slide. My talk is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to not bore you with statistics, numbers. I want to talk to you about inspiring others through a vision. I like this slide because the guy in the gold is running up the stairs and folks are following him. What do you think great leaders have in common? The greatest leaders are those who can effectively communicate a vision. A vision is like a billboard. It delivers a succinct ideal quickly. One of the most effective visionary leaders in the 20th century was President John F. Kennedy. In his 1961 inaugural address, JFK presented a vision. Together, let us explore the stars, conquer the deserts, eradicate disease, tap the ocean depths, and encourage the arts and commerce. Powerful words from a powerful leader, a man who had vision. How do leaders communicate a vision? There's actually nothing mystical about a vision. A vision is a picture. A trademark of great leaders is that their vision includes big ideals. Big ideals get people excited. People want to work on something that matters. JFK's billboard was 35 words that instantaneously communicated many things he wanted his presidency and legacy to be. Most Americans who heard or read his inaugural speech knew immediately what he wanted to achieve. Every effective leader has a vision. I like this slide because some leaders can look down the road. When the path is irregular, winding, difficult with bumps, a leader is able to look further down the road. For every effective leader, there's a vision. For Susan B. Anthony, it was the United States in which women had the right to vote. For Nelson Mandela, it was a South Africa without apartheid. For Cesar Chavez, it was better wages and better working conditions for the migrant farm workers. Some examples of big ideals that most of us are familiar with are antibiotics, cars, air conditioners, and even the internet. Even these examples of famous leaders and big ideals are good, but they're no different from the community leaders that we have now and the ideals that they express. How does a leader use a vision to lead and inspire? How can a vision mobilize and inspire people so that others will want to join in making the vision a reality? As an election administrator, I provide vision to a variety of groups: election staff, professional associations, and groups interested in voting issues. I want to talk to you this afternoon about two things that I was intimately involved with and that have been important to me both professionally and personally. The first is being inspired to be part of an organizational merger. Some say it couldn't be done, that it was hard. There was too much history involved. You'll never get the approval of your membership. There was a lot to consider in order to change members' attitudes, their ideals of retaining traditions, their overall uneasiness to accept a changing environment. That merger was done because there were those who had vision. There were those who had vision to get the job completed. The second is a discussion and a development of a new voting system in Travis County, Austin, Texas. This was something that had been discussed for a number of years. It was a bold and drastic move. It was a game changer. It meant that the team assembled had to push to do things differently. It too required someone who had vision. It too required someone to inspire others to be a part of a developmental process. Dean Logan is here today. LA County is doing some great things. He's a man of vision. He can lead. He's one of my heroes. Great leaders know how to paint a vivid picture of the future. They make it look very, very, very easy. However, most of them have worked very hard to develop and articulate powerful thoughts. So, what I have noticed in leaders who have vision, they have 6 common characteristics, which I have called the PACMAN principle. P, perceive. In order to determine a vision, you must be perceptive. You must pay attention. You must ask questions. You must probe. You must discuss. You must gather data and information. And you need to determine the unmet need. One of the things that had to be done to make this merger work, we had to inspire the team that we could make it happen. We had to be able to get everyone to buy into the ideal of why it was a good idea. Therefore, we had to adapt, getting feedback, incorporating that into our vision. This is where you have to bring everyone to the table, get them to discuss all the possibilities, the pros, the cons, and what the benefits could possibly be. In the end, you wound up with a successful and worthwhile goal. This is a picture of myself and Mr. Neil Kelly. We're both presidents of 2 national organizations. Neil, I've known 15 years. Good man. A man of vision. A man who can lead. A man who can inspire. And because of that, it fed me to do the same. And in the end, we were able to merge 2 great organizations. In staying with the PACMAN principle, the next concept is compose. Because we live in a fast-paced world with little time for writing, many want to skip this step. When you write, you discover how to say precisely what you mean. When you want to articulate a vision, getting it on paper is a crucial step. In this step, the second conversation is how we were able to compose and put onto paper our vision and our conceptual ideal of Starvote in Travis County. An ideal that was talked about for several years, which meant we had to have individuals from opposing views sitting together, coming up with a solution. And as a result, after 2 years of intense talks, we were able to put out a request for information, RFI, a month or so ago. And we do that to gather data and to gather information. Next, we had to mirror. This concept focuses on stories and examples that form visions and clarify your values. These stories enable you to speak authentically from your own wisdom and experiences. Leaders connect with people by weaving inspiring stories into their vision. Don't be afraid to mimic or copy an ideal that has been successful. Merle King tells us that all the time. He's another one of my heroes. It is really a compliment to the person who had the original ideal. Inspirational stories are a rich source of material that can crystallize a vision. These can include personal challenges, major changes, and new experiences. Inspirational stories can also get you to reflect on lost opportunities, failed attempts, turnarounds, famous people, remarkable events, and memorable events. Next, we articulate. If you have followed this process, speaking and communicating your vision is a natural outcome. A leader is more powerful and effective when he or she, because of the way he speaks, understands and is able to communicate the process. Speaking well requires practice, but all the preparation in the world would not wow an audience if the leader cannot speak passionately, fluently, and confidently of their vision. Last, there's navigate. You can overcome resistance by communicating the parts of your vision that people can relate to. They may not be ready to think about an overall plan for transforming an organization or a system. However, they may be able to think about doing part of the vision. This is why Travis County Star Vote is at a crucial crossroads in the RFI process. We have perceived, we have adapted, we've composed, we've mirrored, we've articulated, and now we're navigating how we want this process to help us determine if we're on the right track. By collecting information and ideals from those who have knowledge and who are experts in the subject matter. A powerful vision, well articulated, attracts people, motivates them to take action toward progress and driven results. For example, your neighbors are concerned about a busy road but can't agree on a solution, but everyone agrees that potholes are a problem. Talk about filling the potholes. Figure out who the experts are and how they can help you realize your vision to inspire others to work to build something together. Talk to people where they are. Talk to people about their conditions, their personal needs. This will help you build trusting relationships. As I look across the audience here, I see a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances, and a lot of people that I have met over the years. And what I see are a bunch of PAC men and PAC women. And I want to take this opportunity to tell you, thank you for inspiring me to have vision to inspire others. I think that because of that, it's a symbiotic relationship, and we feed off one another for the greater good. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Michael. A perceptive talk by an articulate man. We have a break until 3 o'clock, so you can get out and get a snack and a stretch. The two people from our staff will be taking taxi reservations, Deanna Smith and Shirley Hines. So if you need a taxi after our last session, please see them and they'll make you a reservation. So I will see you all back here at 3 o'clock for our next and best panel.